Hi guys, this is Wenzes from Below the Radar Above the System, and today's topic is INFJs and how to become whole. I'm in the middle of the researching process for the videos, how to deal with an ENFP if you're an INFJ, how to deal with an INFP if you're an INFJ. I'm gonna do like 16 videos, and I've already finished the research for 4 or 5 of them. I'll try to do them as soon as possible, but in the process of all this, I realized a couple of concepts that we can also use on ourselves, and that actually are the other side we need to develop. Like the one side we need to develop is pretty much understanding others better, understanding where they're coming from, how they're doing everything, so we're not really so shook up if something happens. But on the other hand, we also have to find a path which we can travel, which makes us whole, where we're self-sufficient, we don't need others, and then we attract the people into our lives that are really good for us. Because it's not so much that when we are with people and we don't understand them, and then it's like, oh, if we could have understood them, then everything would be fine and we would all get along great and they would be part of our lives. Most often it's what you're gonna realize is that are actually not the people you want in your life, because they do not have the same values as you. They don't they're not the ones helping you become whole. So by you becoming whole, you will attract other people, as in you will want other people in your life. You'll see those people that are kind of like even hurtful towards you, and you don't understand why, and you want to understand why. You're not even gonna care about those. You're gonna say, what an idiot, I'm just not gonna even think about it. And then you want to have other people in your life, and you give other people chances which you might have overlooked at first glance, because you were so concentrated on understanding something instead of making yourself happy. So one important concept is the concept of the hidden agenda. The hidden agenda is pretty much what we do in order to compensate for a lack of our third function. It's mainly the third function, not the fourth function, because the fourth is already subconscious and we're aware that we can't really get a complete grasp of it. But the third one is something we produce. It's something we can influence, something we can kind of work on. So for us, it's the TI, and our hidden agenda is to understand, which, we all know we do that. But it's pretty much like this. If you have a dominant TI user, they're very aware of their truth. This is so melted into their head that they can't even see anything else. Like if it's like if somebody would tell you, oh, you're born in the States, or you're a woman, or something like this, like a essential truth like this that nobody can change your mind about. For them, a lot of concepts are not that interesting to them of how other people view life, because their truth is essential to them. For us, we have a lack in that. We don't have a concept of this is how our world has to work, and I'm not gonna go left or right of it, because this is how it is. Like, what am I, like, that's the truth. Since we have a lack of that, we try to understand others better, and we are also willing to get into their world and their concept of life and to adapt to that. And what we have to understand is that this hidden agenda is, it keeps us from our main goal, which is, I read this somewhere, that INFJs are, they think they're scientists, but they're actually artists. And it doesn't have to be one or the other. It's just that due to the fact that we're concentrating so much on our TI and concentrating on understanding the world, others, us, we're keeping ourselves from doing the things we're best at. And as in best at, I mean what makes us the most happy. And what makes us the most happy is, creating a great atmosphere, creating, FE and really allowing ourselves to do everything we want, to incorporate FE and SE into ourselves. And there comes just a point where you have to understand, okay, I can understand where others are coming from, but there's like an essential truth that I'm not gonna go left or right of it, because I can't live otherwise. Like, I have to protect myself to a certain point because I'm human, and there are limits to what I can handle. So yeah, so that's when this whole other thing comes in, that you need to or we all need to integrate our FE and our SE. See, what we mostly do is this. We have an understanding of a situation, which comes from our NI and our TI, because we pick up patterns of how others function. Then through our TI, we get a grasp of how this whole works. It's like pretty much we create a puzzle of how the world works, and we try to like adapt to that or get into that, which is very interesting, don't get me wrong. But and then we try to express emotions. We try to express an atmosphere through our FE and maybe a little bit of our SE that adapts to that. That's what we sometimes do. But in order to be whole, we have to integrate FE and SE into our being, as in understanding that in order to be happy by yourself, which is, you know, mainly the point of becoming whole, is to understand that you need to create emotions, that you need to create a great atmosphere, and that you also need to you have to accept that SE is a part of you, that you can be forceful, that you are forceful, because you do have power. If you didn't have that power, you wouldn't be able to stay in so many negative situations, because it's not like, oh, I'm too weak to get out of that situation. It's just like, I know I can handle it, and I know it's the right thing to do because I want to help others. So that's why we stay in certain situations, because we know when we have to, we can get that SE out of us and really, get ourselves out of that situation. But generally, it's important to have FE and SE as part of yourself, like understanding that you cannot live life without creating good things for yourself, creating a great atmosphere. Incorporating SE means accepting that there's no other world for you outside of yourself. Yes, there are other people that might have an interesting worldview and you want to live there, but it's always theirs. You have to be yourself, and you have to make the best out of your life. And that means also making the best out of your current situation. Like, really wake up, look at where am I at from a complete realistic point of view, not like how your imagination works or how everything is, just like where do I live, what are my circumstances, all of that, and create something better through that. Like, use your NI, your imagination, to make the best out of your current situation, and not dream of something that's not, that might be someday, or that you could find in somebody else, because what you're really looking for is to create something out of what you have right now. And once you do that, you understand you are much more willing to express yourself, to express your opinion, your passions, and also be more forceful. Be more forceful as in fighting for your own right, fighting for your own happiness, and also for you to feel good. And I realized I was never allowing myself to do that, because I was convinced that if I do that, other people will feel bad about themselves, and that's why I can't do that. And then I got to a point where I had no other choice, because I was so miserable that I had to do good things for me. I had to really go out, meet friends, talk to people that are nice to me, not isolate myself so much, take more care of how I feel, how I dress, how I go work out and all that stuff. And now that I'm at a point where I feel much better than, let's say 12 months ago, I'm well aware that this is something I need in my life. and I'm not gonna sacrifice that. So if I see somebody who gets offended by me being myself and being joyful or forceful or playful, not even meaning anything bad, and they get offended through that, I'm not even interested in understanding them, because I know that this is what I have to do. I have no other choice, so why think about it? That's a really, that's a good characteristic we have, is that when we know that something doesn't make sense, we can't change it, then there's no need to think about it. So as long as you know, okay, I need to be that way, this is how I feel most comfortable, this is how I work towards wholeness, because I don't think that we can really, this is like an ongoing process, then we're not even concerned with all those other things, like how others view us, or if they're getting offended through us or whatever. But it's important to incorporate those things in you, to understand that yes, there are going to be a lot of people who might not like you, who might like you before, who might have liked you before because you weren't a threat to them, but that's not, that doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't get you happy, and it attracts the wrong people towards you, because you will see, once you're being yourself, you will attract even much more people around you who want to be around you, want to have something of that energy, because you bring so much positive energy into the world, and you keeping all that gift that is yours, which is really, this is what you bring to the world, the way you see the world, how you can make like a positive situation out of everything, and people need like the strength that you have and the hope that you have. This is like something that can really motivate and inspire people, and we keep it on the lock because we don't want to do something wrong or interrupt others' understanding of life, because it does cause other people to like really feel bad about themselves, and not understand where you're coming from, and they might even get offensive towards you or something like this. But I personally have understood, since I have started expressing myself more, feeling more confident, and feeling more forceful. This was my biggest issue. I always thought I wasn't allowed to be forceful, because this is also something I had from being a kid. As in, if you're being forceful, you're not a good kid, or you're not respecting me enough. And forceful, I don't mean it in a, yelling kind of way, or being mean towards others, but just fighting for your rights, and fighting for your happiness, and fighting for what you want. As if nobody was there. If nobody was there, how would you want to feel? Try to like get your, your emotions out. And there was also, I was talking to a couple of people, and the issue came of that INFJs are the least satisfied with marriages, and that these are kind of issues, and what kind of personality type I think would fit us best. And I realize now, the more you know who you are and what you're not sacrificing, the more you're able to get along with much more personality types and really get a close relationship with them, because you know that those deepest desires that you have cannot be fulfilled by anybody. I mean, let's say they say ESTPs kind of like help you out because they're the direct opposite, or, ENFJs because they have like some kind of thing, but there's nobody who can understand you as well as you can understand yourself. And it's your task to really do those most necessary things for yourself, so you can show through that how others are supposed to treat you. Because people are so different. If you don't show them how, you show people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. So if you treat yourself by bringing positive energy towards you, by being good to yourself, and by doing things that make you feel better, you'll see how others will also know how to approach you and how to do those things, and everything gets much easier. And then you're much more able to have a closer relationships with all kinds of personality types, and view them in a completely different way, because you are not so eager to understand every little bit that works in their head, and because it's not necessary. The reason why we want to understand is because we want to kind of protect ourselves. We want to understand where they're coming from, so we're not completely lost in their world or their view of reality. So the more you incorporate FE, SE into your being, the more you understand, okay, this is how I want to feel, this is who I am, and then people will adapt to that. So yeah, this is it for now. I think this is very important because there are always two sides to a coin, and I'll with all those videos that I'm doing, I'm giving you help so you don't have to think about so many things constantly and do so much things that keep you from what makes you really truly happy, which is expressing yourself and getting your inside out. Okay, talk to you soon. Have a nice day. Bye.